You think being nice is your greatest virtue. You hold doors open, say yes when you mean no, avoid confrontation at all costs, and pride yourself on being the person everyone can count on. You've been told since childhood that kindness is the key to success, that good things come to those who are patient and accommodating. But here's the uncomfortable truth you need to hear: your niceness isn't a virtue, it's a cage you've built around yourself, and it's costing you everything you want in life. Before we dive deep into this Machiavellian perspective that might shake your worldview, do me a favor: if you're ready to break free from the chains of people-pleasing and step into authentic power, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll understand why the nice guy finishes last isn't just a cliché, it's a law of human nature. The nice guy trap: how your virtue became your prison. Let's start with a reality check. You're not being nice because you're inherently good, you're being nice because you're afraid. Afraid of rejection, afraid of conflict, afraid of what people might think if you assert your true desires. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago when he observed that men who try to be good in all circumstances inevitably fail among the many who are not good. You've confused niceness with goodness, and that confusion is destroying you. The nice guy doesn't speak up in meetings because he doesn't want to seem aggressive. The nice guy accepts less money than he's worth because negotiating feels uncomfortable. The nice guy lets friends cancel plans repeatedly because he doesn't want to seem inflexible. The nice guy watches opportunities slip through his fingers while more assertive people, often less qualified, claim what should have been his. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince that, "It is much safer to be feared than loved when one of the two must be lacking." Now, I'm not suggesting you become a tyrant, but understand the principle: respect is more valuable than affection, and respect is never given to those who constantly subordinate their own interests to please others. Your niceness has taught people exactly how to treat you, as someone whose needs come last, whose boundaries are negotiable, whose time and energy are free for the taking. And the worst part? You've done this to yourself while calling it virtue. The Machiavellian reality: the world doesn't reward saints. Machiavelli lived in Renaissance Italy, a world of political intrigue, shifting alliances, and brutal power struggles. He observed human nature in its rawest form and came to conclusions that still make people uncomfortable today. His central insight: the world is governed by power, not by morality. Those who understand this truth navigate life with clear eyes, those who don't become victims of their own illusions. Look around you. Who gets promoted at your workplace? The person who quietly does excellent work without complaint, or the person who strategically showcases their achievements and isn't afraid to claim credit? Who commands respect in social situations? The person who agrees with everything to keep the peace, or the person who confidently expresses their opinions even when they differ from the crowd? You've been operating under a false belief system that good intentions and selfless behavior will naturally be recognized and rewarded. But Machiavelli understood that men are so simple, and so subject to present necessities, that he who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. Your niceness makes you that someone, the person who gets used, overlooked, and taken for granted. The harsh truth is that your moral superiority doesn't translate into real-world results. While you're busy being considerate, someone else is negotiating the salary you deserve. While you're avoiding difficult conversations to preserve harmony, someone else is setting boundaries that command respect. While you're waiting for your good deeds to be noticed, someone else is strategically building influence and advancing their position. This isn't about becoming a bad person, it's about understanding that effectiveness requires a different approach than you've been taught. The fear behind the smile: why you can't stop being nice. Let's dig into the psychology behind your niceness. You're not nice because it comes naturally to you, you're nice because it's a survival strategy you developed, probably years ago. Maybe you learned that compliance kept you safe as a child. Maybe you discovered that agreeing others earned you approval when nothing else seemed to. Maybe you found that being useful to others was the only way you felt valued. Your niceness is a shield you hide behind, protecting you from the terrifying prospect of being seen as you truly are, with your needs, your desires, your ambitions, your boundaries. It's easier to be whatever others need you to be than to risk rejection by asserting who you actually are. Machiavelli observed that, "Men in general judge more by their eyes than by their hands, for all can see but few can feel." Everyone sees your niceness, your accommodating nature, your willingness to help. But who really knows what you want? Who understands your ambitions? Who respects your boundaries? Almost no one, because you've never clearly communicated these things. You've been too busy managing other people's perceptions of you. The irony is that your strategy is backfiring. You're being nice to be liked, but instead you're being taken for granted. You're avoiding conflict to maintain relationships, but instead you're building resentment. You're saying yes to everything to appear capable, but instead you're spreading yourself so thin that you excel at nothing. Your fear of being disliked is making you forgettable. Your fear of conflict is making you powerless. Your fear of disappointing others is ensuring you disappoint yourself. The price you're paying, what niceness really costs you. Let's quantify what your niceness is actually costing you. First, there's the financial cost. How many times have you accepted less money than you could have negotiated for because asking for more felt greedy? How many times have you done extra work without compensation because you wanted to be helpful? How many opportunities have you let pass because asserting yourself felt too aggressive? Studies consistently show that people who negotiate their salaries and advocate for themselves earn significantly more over their careers than those who accept initial offers. Your niceness is literally costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Machiavelli would call this foolish, sacrificing your material well-being for the fleeting approval of people who will forget your sacrifice by next week. Then there's the cost to your time and energy. You say yes to requests that drain you. You attend events you don't want to attend. You help people who would never help you in return. You've become the default option for everyone else's needs while your own goals sit perpetually on the back burner. But perhaps the highest cost is to your self-respect. Every time you violate your own boundaries to please someone else, you send yourself a message: their comfort matters more than your well-being. Their opinion matters more than your self-respect. Their time matters more than yours. You're teaching yourself that you don't matter, and that lesson is destroying you from the inside out. Your relationships suffer too, though this seems counterintuitive. You think niceness creates strong relationships, but it actually creates shallow ones built on utility rather than genuine connection. People don't respect you, they use you. They don't value you, they expect you. And when you inevitably burn out or build up enough resentment to snap, they're genuinely confused because you never communicated your true feelings. The Machiavellian alternative: strategic authenticity over compulsive niceness. So what's the alternative? Machiavelli provides a framework not for cruelty, but for strategic effectiveness. He advocates for being both feared and loved when possible, but understanding that if you must choose, fear, respect, is more reliable than love, affection. Translated to modern life, it's better to be respected than liked, and ideally you want both. This means you need to become strategically authentic rather than compulsively nice. You speak your truth, but you choose your battles. You set boundaries, but you do so with clarity rather than aggression. You prioritize your interests, but you also understand when cooperation serves those interests better than conflict. Strategic authenticity means saying no when no is the right answer, even if it disappoints someone. It means negotiating for what you're worth, even if it makes someone uncomfortable. It means walking away from situations that don't serve you, even if others judge you for it. It means being willing to face short-term discomfort for long-term gain. Machiavelli wrote that, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." The nice guy tries to appear perfect to everyone. The strategically authentic person accepts that not everyone will like them and focuses instead on being respected by those who matter. This doesn't mean becoming selfish or cruel. It means understanding that you're not responsible for everyone else's happiness, that your needs matter as much as anyone else's, and that setting boundaries is an act of self-respect, not selfishness. Learning to wield power without apology. Power makes you uncomfortable. You've been taught that wanting power is corrupt, that seeking influence is manipulative, that asserting dominance is toxic. But Machiavelli understood that power is simply the capacity to affect outcomes, and everyone has interests they want to advance. The question isn't whether you'll engage with power, but whether you'll do so consciously or remain a pawn in everyone else's game. Start small. The next time someone makes a request that doesn't serve your interests, practice saying, "No," without elaborate justification. "I'm not available for that" is a complete sentence. Notice your discomfort. Sit with it. Recognize that their disappointment is not your responsibility to fix. In your next salary negotiation, state your number with confidence and wait. Don't fill the silence with justifications or apologies. Let the discomfort exist. Machiavelli observed that, "He who has not first laid his foundations may be able with great ability to lay them afterwards, but they will be laid with trouble to the architect and danger to the building." You're laying new foundations now. It will be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Begin asserting your opinions in conversations, even when they differ from the consensus. You don't need to be argumentative, but you also don't need to reflexively agree to maintain harmony. Say, "I see it differently," and state your perspective. Watch how respect for you increases, even from those who disagree. Practice strategic disclosure rather than automatic transparency. You don't owe everyone access to your thoughts, plans, and vulnerabilities. Machiavelli understood that maintaining some mystery increases your influence. Share strategically with those who have earned your trust, but stop using vulnerability as a tool to win affection from people who haven't demonstrated they deserve it. The strategic use of generosity, kindness as choice, not compulsion. Here's where we distinguish between being nice and being good. Machiavelli wasn't advocating for cruelty, he was advocating for effectiveness. And sometimes, generosity and kindness are highly effective. The key is that they must be strategic choices, not compulsive patterns. When you help someone from a place of strength and choice, it creates genuine goodwill. When you help someone from a place of fear and compulsion, it creates dependency and resentment on both sides. The difference is enormous. Choose when to be generous. Help people who genuinely need it and who will appreciate it, not people who simply expect it because you've trained them to. Be kind when kindness serves a purpose, building genuine relationships, creating reciprocal networks, or simply because it aligns with your values in that moment. But refuse to be kind out of fear of what people will think if you're not. Machiavelli wrote extensively about the strategic use of mercy and harshness. A leader who is always merciful becomes ineffective. A leader who is always harsh becomes hated. The wise leader uses both tools appropriately, merciful when it inspires loyalty, harsh when it prevents greater harm. In your life, this means being supportive when it matters, but also being willing to cut off relationships that drain you, even if it seems mean. Your generosity should flow from abundance, not scarcity. When you give from a full cup, everyone benefits. When you give from an empty one, you're simply transferring your misery to others while pretending it's virtue. Building respect through boundaries, the foundation of authentic relationships. If you want to transform from a nice guy into someone who commands respect, you must become someone who maintains clear boundaries. Machiavelli understood that clear expectations prevent betrayal. When people know where they stand with you, they can choose whether to engage on those terms. Your boundaries are not selfish, they're honest. When you clearly communicate what you will and won't accept, you give people the information they need to interact with you authentically. When you have no boundaries, people have to guess what you really want, which creates confusion and resentment. Start identifying your non-negotiables. What behaviors will you absolutely not tolerate in your relationships? What are you no longer willing to sacrifice for the approval of others? What standards will you hold for how people treat you? Write these down. Make them explicit to yourself first. Then comes the hard part, enforcing them. When someone crosses a boundary, address it immediately. Not with aggression, but with clarity. "That doesn't work for me," or "I'm not comfortable with that," are powerful statements that require no justification. People who respect you will adjust. People who don't will reveal themselves through their resistance. Understand that you will lose people when you start setting boundaries. Some relationships existed solely because you made them easy by having no requirements. When you start having standards, these relationships will end. This is not a loss, it's a clearing of space for relationships built on mutual respect rather than one-sided accommodation. Machiavelli observed that, friendship that is gained by purchase and not through grandeur and nobility of spirit is bought but not secured. Relationships built on your compliance aren't real friendships, they're transactions where you've undervalued yourself. Real relationships can survive your boundaries, false ones cannot. The long game, building genuine influence over seeking approval. Your niceness is a short-term strategy for temporary comfort. You avoid immediate conflict, get instant approval, feel momentarily valued. But you're sacrificing long-term influence for short-term comfort. Machiavelli always thought in terms of the long game, what builds lasting power versus what provides fleeting satisfaction. Genuine influence comes from being someone whose word matters, whose time is valuable, whose respect must be earned. You can't build that while you're giving yourself away for free to anyone who asks. You become influential when people understand that your yes means something because you're capable of saying no. Start thinking strategically about your reputation. What do you want to be known for? The person who always says yes? Or the person who, when they commit to something, delivers exceptional results? The person who's everyone's friend? Or the person who has high standards for relationships and creates deep connections with those who meet them? Every interaction is either building or eroding your influence. When you accommodate someone at your own expense, you're teaching them you're a resource to be used. When you set a boundary, you're teaching them you're a person to be respected. Choose wisely. Machiavelli advised that, it is better to be impetuous than cautious, because fortune is a woman, and it is necessary, if you want to hold her down, to beat her and struggle with her. In modern context, this means being willing to take bold action rather than always playing it safe to avoid offending anyone. Your caution is killing your potential. The transformation, from nice guy to respected individual. The path from compulsive niceness to strategic authenticity isn't easy. You'll face resistance, from others who preferred you when you were compliant, and from yourself as you confront the fears that drove your niceness in the first place. But on the other side of this transformation is a version of you that you'll actually respect. You'll negotiate that raise and get it because you've stopped apologizing for your value. You'll have fewer friendships, but the ones you have will be genuine because they're built on who you actually are rather than who you pretend to be. You'll sleep better at night because you're no longer carrying resentment from violated boundaries. You'll pursue your goals with focus because you've stopped letting everyone else's priorities crowd out your own. People will say you've changed, and they'll mean it as an accusation. They're right, you have changed. You've stopped being a doormat and started being a person. Some will respect this evolution. Others will resent it because it means they can no longer use you. Let them go. Machiavelli wrote that, the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. You've been neither, you've been prey, hoping that your weakness would somehow protect you through sympathy. It's time to develop both the lion's courage to assert yourself and the fox's wisdom to know when and how to do so. Your new operating system, Machiavellian principles for modern life. As you move forward, integrate these Machiavellian principles into your daily life. First, trust actions, not words. People tell you who they are through what they do, not what they say. Stop making excuses for people whose behavior repeatedly demonstrates they don't value you. Second, reciprocity must exist. If you're always giving and never receiving, you're not in a relationship, you're being used. Machiavelli understood that imbalanced relationships always end badly. Balance your generosity with discernment. Third, maintain strategic reserves. Don't give everything to everyone. Keep some time, energy, and resources for yourself and for emergencies. The person who gives away everything ends up with nothing when they need it most. Fourth, Learn to use calculated honesty. You don't need to be brutally honest about everything, but you should be honest about what matters. Stop protecting people from truth they need to hear, especially when that truth concerns your boundaries or needs. Fifth, accept that conflict is sometimes necessary. Machiavelli observed that, where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. If a goal matters to you, the discomfort of conflict shouldn't stop you from pursuing it. Not all conflict is bad, sometimes it's the only path to authentic resolution. Finally, measure your success by your own standards, not by how many people like you. Popularity is fleeting and meaningless if it comes at the cost of your self-respect. Build a life that serves your values and goals, not one that serves everyone else's expectations. The choice before you. You stand at a crossroads. One path leads back to niceness, familiar, comfortable, safe, and ultimately unfulfilling. You know where that path goes because you've been walking it for years. It leads to quiet resentment, unrealized potential, and a life shaped by everyone else's needs except your own. The other path leads through discomfort into authentic power. It requires you to face your fears, set boundaries, disappoint people, and claim what you want without apology. It's scarier because it's unknown, but it's the only path to genuine respect, from others and from yourself. Machiavelli's wisdom has endured for 5 centuries because he understood human nature in its unvarnished truth. He knew that good intentions don't protect you, that niceness doesn't guarantee success, and that power flows to those who understand how the world actually works rather than how we wish it worked. You've spent enough time being nice. It's time to be effective. It's time to be respected. It's time to be someone who commands attention not through people-pleasing, but through the quiet confidence of a person who knows their worth and doesn't negotiate it downward for anyone's comfort. The nice guy finishes last not because the world is cruel, but because he refuses to compete. He stands on the sidelines, waiting for his goodness to be rewarded, while others who understand power and strategy claim the prizes. Don't be that person anymore. Stop being nice. Start being real. The world doesn't need another people-pleaser, it needs you, fully empowered, setting boundaries, pursuing your goals, and refusing to apologize for taking up space. That's not selfish, that's self-respect. And it's long overdue. If this message resonated with you, if you're ready to step into a more powerful version of yourself, then take action right now. Subscribe to this channel for more insights on power, strategy, and personal transformation. Like this video if it challenged your thinking. And share it with someone who needs permission to stop being nice and start being effective. Your transformation starts with a single decision, make it now.